hope all is well with you. Last week, I talked about your right standing with God. So, whatever desire that you have that's hidden in your heart, God has already qualified you to experience. It is based on your righteousness in God. And I talked about believing God. And when you believe God, that's really what activates your right standing with God. I want to go a little further and talk about the strategy. God gave you a strategy to discover what's hidden in your heart. Psalms 37, verse 4 is the strategy. It says, take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. God wants you to take delight in him. That's the strategy for you to discover and experience the desires in your heart. There are three areas that the strategy is really connected to, and that is number one, taking delight in who God is, knowing God for yourself. Number two is taking delight in who God created you to be. Spirit, soul, and body, from your spirit, the core of who you are. God designed you and wired you to experience desires in your heart. So it's important that you take delight in who God created you to be. Take delight in the strengths that he has given you, your talents, in the influence that he has given you. And when you do that, you begin to discover the desires that's hidden in your heart. And number three, take delight in his plans for your life. He prepared a table for you, before you, in the presence of your enemies, meaning that God's plans for your life is a place of preparation when you give God full attention. And when you give God full attention and focus, that's what keep you from being distraction. Distraction is one of the number one things connected to discouragement as well that keeps us from not experiencing what God desires in our heart. One of the things that Jesus said was that he must be about his father's business, meaning that he made God's plans for his life his number one priority. That's the same for you and I. That's the strategy that God has given us to allow his power to move in your life, to move you forward and experience what he has planned for you. Now, when you focus on those three strategies, God, who he created you to be, and his plans for your life, that's what really keep you woke in right standing with God, knowing your rights of who you are in him and what he has placed in your heart. Now, desires of the heart has a spiritual root to it. So in order for you to experience what's hidden in your heart, you have to know what that spiritual root is. Desire is like a seed. And in seed form, when you really give attention to it, that's what allows it to grow in other areas of your life, for you to see a big picture or to experience what God has truly planned for you in every area of your life. So think of that for a moment, whether it's your health, your finances, your career, your business, your relationships. The root to that, there is a root to that. And I'll tell you what it is. It's found in Matthew chapter 22, verse 37. Jesus said to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. That goes back to that strategy to take delight in the Lord. Now, when you love God with all your heart, all your mind, and with all your soul, that's giving you that space, that awareness, that awakening of your consciousness, your right standing with God. And most importantly, begin to see from a spiritual mindset what it is that God has strategically placed in your heart for you to experience. That's the first commandment. That is the greatest commandment that Jesus said in Matthew 22, verse 38. And so, with that being said, the strategy that God has given you is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, and your soul. And when you give that full attention, God will download the desires, meaning he will allow you to see what he has hidden in your heart. He pull back the curtain and allow you to see it. So with that being said, I want to continue to challenge you to own your truth and live your vision. And most importantly, keep God the center of the attention of your life. And when you do that, you will see more desires that he planned for you. Blessings.